For the people that aren't familiar with you, can you give a little backstory onto who you are and how you got started and your story?
Okay, so yeah, basically, pretty much how I started with the whole reaction channel thing was my mom had gone through heart surgery. So pretty much a lot of the times, a lot of the YouTube Ohana, you guys know some of this story, but for those who don't know, just in a nutshell, pretty much when I had to take care of my parents, pretty much they're much older in age, a lot of the pressure and a lot of the stress came on me because I was the only child. So I had to take care, I had to take care of everything. And sometimes I either had to go to the gym or I had to find something to get my, head cleared out or pretty much, just not think so much about all the stress that's going on because a lot of the stuff, especially when it comes to heart surgery, you got to be there for that person. So in this case, my mom was really depending on me, to take care of her. So pretty much, learning all these different things, from the doctors and all that kind of stuff. I kind of started watching videos, and I've seen reaction videos before, but never really thought about being one or being someone behind the scenes until um, I forgot what it was, but somebody said you could do something like this, like on your downtime. Back then, I had a little, I had a more downtime than I do now, actually. But anyway, yeah, that's what happened during that course of time when my mom had her heart surgery. I just started doing one, and my first one was with Morissette. And so after
Hmm.
I hit it off with Morissette the first time, because I got nothing. I'll tell you this much: with all the stuff that you got, bro, I have nothing. Right behind me is a bed sheet. Seriously.
Well, I was actually
Okay.
gonna comment, man. Like, it actually looks really good. I was like, I was. It's funny because of your setup. Even if it is just a bed sheet, I was like, man, his Black Christmas is like the best background that anybody's ever had. I've done a bunch of these interviews, and I'm like, this looks so good behind you. So it's so funny, and that's I think so important. I just want to touch on this for 30 seconds because one of the important things that I try to do on this channel is encourage other people to start out. And it's like I think one of the misconceptions everybody has is like, oh, I need all this gear, I need these fancy cameras. You're on your phone and you have a bed sheet, and that looks probably the best setup I've seen on somebody, on an interview FaceTime or Zoom call. So that's a huge testimony. And Dennis also, I just found that also films on his phone. And I filmed, like, when I
Yeah.
started out, I filmed I think like 1,000 videos, 2,000 videos on my phone too. So that's amazing. I love that, man. It's so great.
It's the Android phone. That's what I'm using right now. But no, definitely right now. No, seriously, bro. I'm facing my window, and that is my
Wow.
daylight. So of course, yeah. No, seriously. Like here, you can see the different shadings and lighting. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty much opening up my blinds right now. So if you understand photography, if you understand, videography, you kind of put two and two together, and that's your setup. A lot of the viewers would be surprised to see what tiny space I actually have. See, like you, when I look into your studio, I'm like, bro, that's something that I want, in my room, but I don't have that space. I don't have that luxury right now. But no, definitely, this is just a bed sheet right here, and the light in front of me. If I get a chance to do, reactions during the daytime, I use daylight. I use sunlight, and for those of you guys who are photographers, you guys know how well sunlight or daylight, the natural lighting is good on the skin. So I can be more exposed if I wanted to, or if I wanted to tone it down. But yeah, so that's my studio right here.
You know
And
what,
this is
bro?
what I've done for the past 3 years, or what is it now? No, more than that, because I started in 2018, and I've done it this way. I haven't changed. It's still the same. And like Dennis, I've been using my cell phone this whole entire time. Because gear is not that cheap. You know that.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, I want to compliment that because I am highly impressed with, like, it looks great. You like it because it's like nice. The contrast is cool because you have this very, like, it's perfectly aligned with you, and then a very, like, it's black. You can't tell it. It's a sheet. So it's like black. It's like it's really good. It's
Cool.
one of my best setup, my favorite setups actually. It's like, oh, this guy's setup actually looks professional. So it's fun, man. I love it. So for, like I said, for the people that aren't familiar with you, you said you started with Morissette, and then had it, like, what do you do only music? Do you do things outside of music? Can you elaborate on what you do on your channel?
So pretty much on the reaction channel, I didn't know where I was going in the beginning, to be honest with you. I just throughout Morissette in the beginning, and then I did a couple, artists from the Philippines, and then I did, a couple of a cappella groups in the beginning just to see what it was. And then as the videos started going out, I started getting comments. I started getting,
Yeah.
how it starts. People start connecting with you and all of that. And mind you, I was taking care of my mom at that time. And what set it off actually for me was when I had started with Dimash. And a lot of the deers out there, they know. In the beginning, I didn't know, what I was getting into when I was getting to the rabbit hole with Dimash. And so pretty much I had started with Morissette and it picked up from there. Some people, they're starting to say, hey, you are doing good. And, the encouragement, just to be honest with you,
Sure.
the encouragement from from the viewers. And then you kind of build this relationship with your viewers. And honestly, like some people, they always tell me, by now you should have gotten this much, by now you should have gotten this many people followers. And I said, well, in the beginning, I wasn't just doing it for followers. I was just doing it because I love music. And so my background, most of most of my viewers, they know I'm a musician myself. I play the piano. I've been playing the piano since I was 5 years old. And so pretty much I've been involved in, in media. That's pretty much my life right now. It's just I'm a media director. And so anything to do with video, website design, all that kind of stuff, photography, you name it, social media. Yeah, no, and some people are like, and you can't afford your own gear. I'm like, well, that's different because that's work. Here at home, it's kind of like, yeah, okay. Do I decide to spend $500 right now, or do I decide to just spend $20, or can I just deal with what I have? And then of course the software that you use. But yeah, so pretty much it all started from there. Morissette, Dimash, Home Free, those guys. And then again, for me, I started building relationship with the viewers. And that went well for the first year, getting to know a lot of them. But I'll tell you that much. It was a hill to climb to get used to with people who were just trolling or who were just leaving messages. Because I'm a people person. I'm a big people person. I was in retail for 15 years. So pretty much serving the community, being there in the community, and just helping people out. It's my heart. That's where it is. And Dennis will tell you that much. We spoke very long on that. And so when these comments started coming in, I actually took it personal. I took it personally, and it hurt. It hurt to hear what people had to say. And but the part that kept me going was a lot of these viewers, which I call my YouTube Ohana. They became my YouTube Ohana because they were so genuine. They're like, you know what? Don't even listen to what they have to say. Block them. Just keep moving. You're doing good. So the encouragement really outweighed the discouragement. But like you were saying, how like you're doing hundreds of videos a day.
No, not
in
actually,
a day,
but yeah.
and here I am doing like one. I'm like doing right now. I'm like doing like one or two a week, whereas before I was staying up late. Just trying to put these videos out, because what people don't understand too is you're recording yourself. Like in my case, I record myself on my phone. Then I have to take it to a editing tool, and edit all the videos, put all that stuff together. It just doesn't happen in a snap. Unless you're recording in real time, and you got the shout out to Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro. If you got that kind of a gear, okay, because I use them a lot at work. We use Blackmagic quite a bit. So if you have that equipment already with you, then you're equipped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you're equipped to do it all. But like for starters, like for me, it was kind of like here I had my cell phone. I just had my computer, and that's all I did. But yeah, a lot of people were saying, how do you have time to do it? I said, before I did, but I sacrificed my sleep just so that videos can be put out, because, for me, I try to put my family first. I put, whatever is important first before I sit down in front of the computer. Because like I said, it does take some time, and that, it takes some time to do it. Yeah. And so from there, I just pick and choose my battles. If I can do a video, I can do a video. If not, I'm just gracious. I was just thankful, because a lot of my viewers, they're so patient. They're like, we'll wait for the next one. Don't worry. Take your time, take care of your family. And so for me, on a personal side, that's what keeps me going as a reactor.
Yeah. No, that's such a good point, man, and it's very important. I feel like to find the balance between like, whether this becomes somebody's job or even just a hobby, like trying, like for example, one thing I've been really focusing on a lot lately is like this has actually become my full time job as of April 1st,
Oh,
and it's
nice.
like thank you, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. But one of the things that I've been really trying hard to remind myself of is, it's like sometimes like I'm like that type A super go getter, like I'll grind myself to the ground kind of thing, and it's like, hold on, that's fine as long as I'm enjoying it. But then there are times where I'm like, I'm exhausted. I don't want to film another video for the day. And it's like,
Exactly.
and then I have to. But part of me is like, oh, but I want to continue to grow. I want to. But then I'm like, but if I'm not happy, like I have that dream job that everybody talks about, but it can very much become that typical 9 to 5 if you're not enjoying it. You know what I mean? And it's so fascinating to think like, oh
Right.
my gosh, like what's the point of even doing this? I might as well go get a corporate job that I hate if I'm not going to enjoy this. It's like, so you know what, hold on, let me take a step back. I don't have to shove another video out. Let's just make sure. That's, I think, the most important thing, like you said. It's like finding the balance so that you actually enjoy it. You know what I mean? Because otherwise
Yeah.
your job is no better than anybody else's job.
Right. Exactly. And again, in the beginning, because I was in retail, again, I just speak for myself. Other people who work in retail, it's just another job for them. For me, because I'm such a people person. Sometimes that whole people pleasing thing does come out.
Yeah,
Like
I
you
hear that.
said, I gotta put out the video because, oh, you should do this. Like when the suggestions come in, they're like, oh, do this video, and I have this watch list. You need the watch later list. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
that watch later list just keeps growing and growing and growing, and it's like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to get to it. And
Yeah.
then when you got this one group or when this one artist that you love so much, you just insert them, and then you feel bad because now all these other videos are put down to the bottom. It's kind of like you can't please everyone. But it's like what you were saying. For me in the beginning, I want to always go back to the real reason why I do it. It's one, I love music. Number two, I appreciate good singing. And pretty much like some people who have never heard these artists, that's the reason why I do it. Because in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but I was accused of trying to make money off of these artists. And I said, hold on, wait a minute. I don't even make one penny out of these people. In fact, I am using my own time, my own resources just to react to a song and
Mm.
then just say, go follow these guys. These guys
Yeah.
are not even connected with me whatsoever. In the beginning, that's what it was. And maybe,
That's
yes, there were
interesting.
some people, some groups that, have contacted me like, hey, let's meet up, let's talk or,
That's cool.
we appreciate you doing this. And that's out of my hands. That's just them,
Yeah.
kind of a deal. And so I appreciate that because they appreciate what I do for them, as an
Mm-hmm.
artist, or they'll send me like an Instagram message or something. For me, that's good enough.
Yeah.
That's good enough. Don't worry about, that extra cash or whatever. Like that'd be great. If that's something that I could do full time, bro. Like seriously, I would
Yeah.
definitely do it full time, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, I mean, hey
So,
man,
but
like one of the things I try really hard on, like I mentioned when I sent you that message and stuff, it's like, oh, actually, I don't even, because we had already been introduced. I don't know if I sent you my typical message, but my typical message that I send to people is like essentially saying like, hey, I'd love to have you on the channel. My goal is to help inspire other artists and other channels that are looking to start or maybe on the edge to start, and I like. Because I think that one of the things that was so hard for me, like because I've been a musician, professional musician, like dropped out of college, 7 or 8 years ago at this 7 years ago at this point. And then I've been grinding out ever since, but had like 1,000 jobs, like 1,000 different hats from, because like I'd make $300 here and $1,000 here and $500 here, and like it was so wearing so many hats, and it's like, um, so many people saying that it wasn't possible, and now it's like, now the funny part is now I'm doing what I love, but then I'm also not even like, not that money's everything, but I'm also making more money than a lot of the people that doubted me, and it's like, and I want to speak on that because I think it's important that we like other artists know it's actually possible. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
so that being said,
definitely.
like, hey man, I want to say that go for it. Like one day maybe that'd be sick for you. You know what I mean? Like, you never know, man.
No, trust me. trust me. See, the thing is, my regular job, I love doing that too, because I get my hands on, video, all that video editing, producing, working with lights and just the whole production aspect.
Hmm.
I like doing that kind of stuff. But at the same time too, I love doing this, as a
Yeah.
reaction. But again, where do I draw the line? I
Yeah.
can't do both full time, because you'll run yourself to the ground. And
Sure.